Welcome back to the podcast. I am your friend, Dr. James. We are diving into part 3 of our series on predestination. As we navigate these deep theological waters, I want to give a very special acknowledgement to Dr. Ken Wilson. Much of the content and the lectures we're discussing today are drawn directly from his extensive work and research. In our last episode, we hit a wall with hard determinism. We saw some serious obstructive problems there, conclusions that are just plain difficult to swallow. So today, let's pivot. We're going to look at soft determinism, specifically the view held by Norman Geisler in his book, God Knows All Things. Geisler sets the stage by quoting two complete opposites. First, there's the existentialist Jean-Paul Sartre, who says, "If God exists, then the future is determined and I am not free. I am free, therefore God does not exist." It's a bold setup. Sartre basically concludes that because human freedom is real, God cannot be. On the flip side, you have the famous Calvinist Jonathan Edwards, who argues that if every event has a cause, then free choices must also have a cause. Since God is the first cause of everything, he must be the cause of our free choices. Talk about a tug of war. Both men are working from the same assumption, that God determines and decrees every single thing. Geisler correctly points out that these are extremes. He's looking for a middle ground, but as we'll see, his path there gets a bit rocky. Geisler tries to build this case for predetermination being based on foreknowledge, but he runs into some interpretation traffic with Philippians 1:6. You know the verse? "He who began a good work in you will complete it." Geisler uses this to say, God determines these things, but he's missing the context. That good work Paul is talking about, it isn't general Christian deeds or a guarantee of eternal security. It was actually a financial contribution to Paul's ministry. The Philippians had partnered with him. It's a leap to use that as a proof text for predestination. He then moves to John 1:13. Geisler uses the NIV, or as some call it, the needs improvement version, which says we are born not of human decision. But if you look at the actual text, the word decision isn't there. It says desire of the flesh. The early church fathers understood this clearly. I can sit around desiring to be born of God all day, but it won't happen unless God births me. It's not about my decision or effort. It's about faith. Geisler's terminology gets a bit tangled here because he frames it as us choosing God. In reality, we respond to his gift of eternal life by faith. We aren't the ones initiating the choice. Now, where Geisler does get it right, and he hits this hard, is on page 69. He argues that if God uses irresistible force on free creatures, it violates both God's charity and human dignity. He puts it bluntly. Forced love is rape, and God is not a divine rapist. If you say God predestines in spite of foreknowledge, you're essentially saying he's manipulating the will. It's like drugging someone's drink to influence them. If God unilaterally saves some and not others whom he could save, then the statement God is love loses its meaning. Geisler rightly notes that God is love is his very character, verse John, while sovereignty is an attribute. We have to interpret sovereignty through the lens of love, not the other way around. Here is where Geisler trips up again. He suggests that because God is timeless, his foreknowledge and predetermination are essentially one. He claims whatever God knows, he determines. But wait, what about contingent knowledge? We see in the stories of Samuel, Jeremiah, and even in Jesus' teachings in Matthew that God knows things that could happen but don't actually come to pass. If God knows things that never happen, then knowing isn't the same as determining. Knowing is not causal. Geisler falls back into the trap of thinking God must ordain every single event, including evil. This leads to a weird logical knot, saying God decrees everything, good and evil, but only desires good. As the scholar Reichenbach pointed out, why would God decree something contrary to what he desires? It just doesn't make sense. To be fair, Geisler handles the mechanics of freedom quite well. He offers three alternatives. 1. Moral indeterminism, things happen randomly, rejected. 2. Moral determinism, God is the only cause, we are just tools. Rejected. 3. Moral self-determinism, our moral acts are self-caused. Winner. This is the correct option. We are the first cause of our own free actions. God is the cause of the fact of our freedom, but we are the cause of the acts using that freedom. You didn't cause your own birth, but you definitely cause your own actions. So, where does that leave us? Soft determinism is certainly an upgrade from the hard determinism of guys like Feinberg, but it still leaves us with a God who is effectively the cause of evil because he decrees all things. We've now crossed 2 views off our list. We can't stay here. Next time, we're going to look at the indeterminist position held by Reichenbach to see if that provides the bridge we're looking for. If you like this video, please share and subscribe to my channel. God bless.